the main event does not discriminate.
Why?
Stars do not get star treatment.
Can I get excited yet? Oh.
Amateurs face the same uphill climb.
The endurance of every day, several hours a day of playing, it takes a toll. I can feel it.
At the top of tonight's summit is a ticket to play on day 5.
Put on your seatbelts. Put on your seatbelts.
Welcome back to Las Vegas in the 2011 World Series of Poker main event presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Whether star or unknown, pro or amateur, the task tonight is to accumulate chips and move on to day 5. Daniel Negreanu's hanging on to his main event dream.
The 4-time bracelet winner's been picking up some chips lately, Lon. Of course, he lives in Las Vegas now, but he's a Toronto kid poker at heart.
Ben Lamb still in the mix.
The 26-year-old also lives in Las Vegas these days, but he's a Tulsa, Oklahoma kid at heart.
Patrick Poirier was once the chip leader, now a long way from that.
He's a Las Vegas resident as well, but you know he's a Tupper Lake kid at heart.
And then there's Sam Barnhart, the unlikely chip leader here on day 4.
And my man is Little Rock forever. Go Arkansas!
474 players remain. Sam Barnhart on top. Peyus Hines and Max Heinzelman trying to become the first Germans ever to make the main event final table. Daryl Jace, one of 3 players within 100,000 of the lead. The chip leader at this featured table, the man who just knocked out Vanessa Russo, David Bach.
He once tried his hand at pro bowling. Gotta root for him.
And there is Nachman Berlin of Brooklyn. He's a poker pro who loves center stage.
I want to root for someone who lives in Brooklyn, Lon. They lost the Dodgers.
And I don't think they want them back right now. Ace-Jack for Dwayne Alexander. Alexander, 31-year-old from San Antonio with a raise to 14,000. Bach folds, playing 7-handed at this featured table at the moment. In the green shirt, Tom Brabant.
That is the greenest shirt we've ever had at the feature table.
Folded to Nachman Berlin with Ace-King.
By the way, if Nachman Berlin makes the final table, he does not count as a German. Berman's second at a no-limit event earlier at this World Series, a $400,000 payday.
Alexander with the raise from early position gets a call from Berlin. And so they will be heads up to the flop.
Alexander attended Austin Community College in Texas. I believe they are the Thundering Herd.
There's the flop now. Jack 7-10. Alexander with top pair, top kicker. And he'll waste no time building a pot. 17,000. And Berlin comes along again with a Broadway draw. Turn card. And ace hits both. Alexander leads with aces up. 30,000 this time. Well, Berlin hit top pair. He's got the top kicker, but it's second best, and he makes the call.
Alexander seems comfortable with his bet. Berlin seems comfortable with his call.
River card deuce of hearts misses both, so Alexander's ace is up his best.
A very harmless deuce on the river. That might be the most harmless deuce ever.
Alexander will bet it.
Call.
Bet 85,000. Call.
And Alexander will win it.
Come on, are you serious? So that's gonna be bleeped out. That's gonna be bleeped out. Beep. Trapping this clown, and how's he get me like
Trapped
that?
me, I outflopped you. You called me with nothing. You called me with air.
I told you with nothing.
You had ace for high on the flop. How do you trap me with ace high?
Trapped you with ace king. I knew you had a lower ace. Are you kidding me? I was gonna get all your chips.
Jack. You got him.
You had nothing. Is what you had.
Ace high call is great.
You obviously are clueless. We see the world differently, obviously.
For what it's worth, I'm also clueless, and I also see the world differently than Nachman Berlin.
Enjoy those chips.
As day 4 marches towards its conclusion, Nachman Berlin reminds us that even with so much on the line, personality and gamesmanship can have a place at the poker table. Norman, we've seen high-level poker at this main event, but has the game become too serious?
Where are all the characters? What, we get a guy with pink hair from France in the chip lead and call it a day? I am demanding that the remaining 500 players start acting like people. This isn't the internet. This is real life with real human beings. Look them in the eye. Introduce yourself. Try some small talk. Make new friends. And then take their chips.
I cannot challenge.
I'll take ace jack. I'll take ace king versus ace jack anytime. We can go C3, 4
Oh,
streets.
you played it bad. Should have re-raised.
Played
You
it
wouldn't have
perfect.
lost.
I've tried to own your ass. I know if I 3-bet, you fold.
I'm not in the Nachman Berlin corner anymore. Just a little too much Brooklyn for me.
Two poker players who talk more than we do, Norman. Nachman Berlin with ace-4 of diamonds, and they're in the muck now.
I trap a guy with ace king. He has ace jack high. I catch my ace. He catches 2 pair. He thinks he outplayed me for half my stack.
King, queen of diamonds for
The guy that
Alexander.
played probably his first tournament in his life. I get him for half a stack.
Berlin won't let it go.
He doesn't hit that jack. I take all of it.
Alexander with a raise to 14,000.
Second tournament of my life.
Second tournament in his life. Yeah. I was going to get him for everything. I knew he has ace high. Trapping him for the whole wad for everything.
How much should I bet pre-flop? About 15,000 on that hand? So I was behind when I bet 15,000. I was ahead when I bet about, what, 150, 200,000? They called me the whole way.
You don't know what you're talking about. Honest to God, you don't. You
Called 150,000 behind, buddy. You called 15,000 ahead.
The rivalry was born in the big blind. Tom Brabant with pocket kings.
I would have had all your chips.
And he raises to 36,000.
Brabant shuts out the commotion and silently raises his kings. By the way, when I'm asking for more personality at the table, I'm not looking for Phil Hellmuth imposters.
Alexander with a suited king-queen makes the call for 22,000 more. Alexander dominated again. We'll see another flop. 6, 8, 7, 2 diamonds. The pocket kings still best. A flush draw for Alexander. Brabant checked it.
Literally, I had the worst guy on the table. I lose all my chips to him.
That last hand still festering with Berlin. Alexander bets 42,000 with the flush draw.
Close enough, Steven.
Brabant has cashed 12 times in his World Series career.
With the pocket kings,
I'll probably get crushed for the way I knocked the nets
just a
out.
call.
For the what?
For the way I knocked the nets out.
All right, so Alexander looking for help.
Alexander in a good mood. I like that. This is the main event.
Wow, and there is help. Alexander steals the hand away with a diamond flush.
By the way, Nachman Amarillo Slim Berlin would have turned the nut flush had he played.
But he's on the sidelines. Brabant checked it. Alexander now with an unbeatable hand. Bet 60,000, a smallish bet.
Brabant is an instructor at Pocket Five's training site, but he's playing this hand like he's a graduate of the Norman Chad School of Poker. Check calling with no idea where he stands in the hand.
He did check call the flop, and now check calls the turn. Alexander loves those cards he's peeking at. River card now, 5 of hearts. Brabant checks a third time. Now Alexander will try to figure how much he can get from his opponent. 200,000.
Well, to call here, Brabant's got to put Alexander on a bluff, or maybe a hand like pocket 10s or jacks.
Alexander's bet was 70% of the pot. That's hefty.
200.
I call.
The pocket kings call. Alexander wins with a king-high diamond flush.
Norman Chad School of Poker. Our motto, passive but not profitable.
The king-high flush wins a big pot.
I had ace-4 of diamonds.
You got doubled up.
That would be so sick. He'd be, because he definitely called with king.
Oh, absolutely. I'll snap it off and flip it over like I got the
No,
nuts.
you would have gotten cooler. It's not.
Yeah, I would have flipped it over like I had the nuts. You'd show me your hand and I'd been sad.
I thought you said
So
they were-
that two-man show continues at the feature table. That could be fun to watch. To the outer tables now, where Alan Cunningham and his aces are ready to take the last of short-stack Burton Ritchie's chips, who holds pocket queens.
Frankly, I think it should say 100% next to Cunningham's name going to the flop. He doesn't ever lose a hand like
I gotta
this.
tell you, Dane, is it? It is totally okay for you to spike a queen without spiking an ace.
Ritchie from Pensacola, Florida, looking for a miracle. Here's the flop. No queen, no draws. Ritchie in serious trouble.
The 5-time bracelet winner remains a force. This is his 4th cash in the last 6 main events. He's Alan Cunningham.
It's there.
Turn card now.
I'm fine with a chop.
4 of hearts means Ritchie has very limited avenues to survival.
Ritchie has to have a queen, or Alan Cunningham's got a knockout.
The river card, the 8 of spades, and it just seems a little unfair when the best players in the world get aces. Ritchie knocked out of the main event. Alan Cunningham up to $500,000 now. Welcome back to the 2011 main event. Day 4 play comes to an end tonight. If the pace continues, the field expected to drop below 400 players. It's been quite a World Series for the French. 4 bracelets, including one for Bertrand Elke Grospellier. He completes poker's triple crown. And Caen, France will host the 2011 World Series of Poker Europe tournaments. And at our secondary table is Frenchman Guillaume Darcourt, whose pink hair has attracted a lot of attention, even here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I have the pink hair since 1 week. It's last bet. But since 1 week, I play some tournaments online. I win two tournaments on 3. If I make a real deep run in this tournament, I will have to do that all my life. I don't say the pink hair brings me luck, but maybe it's changed something in the way my opponents see me. Maybe before they didn't know that I was crazy. Maybe now, as soon as I get to the table, they know it, and maybe they're scared. I don't know.
I didn't know Just for Frenchmen had that color. And frankly, he should have gone all the way and dyed his 4-day-old grizzly facial growth pink.
All right, action on Stuart Tuvey, who finds ace-king. And he announces raise to 19,000. And Pluard folds over to our pink-haired Frenchman, Darcourt, with pocket 6s.
Katy Perry dyes her hair pink a lot. Maybe she should play poker.
Darcourt began day 3 with 400,000. Day 4 was 700,000. Now, late on day 4 here, over $1 million. He makes the call. Barnhart with ace-10 offsuit on the Jack Link's beef jerky hole cam.
Can't see Sam Barnhart dyeing anything, any color.
19,000 is the call from Sam.
I don't like Sam calling with ace-10 off in that spot. Yeah, he's got the stack and he's in position, but let it go.
3 players will see the flop. Darcourt's pocket 6s are best right now. Flop 4-5 Jack. Darcourt still best. Tuvey missed.
Yeah, he missed, but I believe Stuart Tuvey has a continuation bet disorder. The condition is treatable, but he has declined treatment.
And it looks like it will manifest itself in a continuation bet on this flop. 36,000. Darcourt now with the best hand.
And Darcourt's BS detector appears to be up and operating.
Darcourt won the WPT Bucharest event in 2010. He makes the call.
I would have preferred if Darcourt had popped it right there. That might end the hand. And if he gets re-raised, then he can reconsider.
Barnhart on the button. Missed the flop, and he'll lay down.
Look at Tuvey over there. He can't wait to continuation bet his continuation bet.
Well, we may see that. Turn card, deuce of diamonds. Tuvey picks up a straight draw that would be no good to him.
Yeah, Tuvey likes to posture. We saw him bluff Fried Mulders with king deuce on an ace-jack-10 board.
And once again, Stuart Tuvey bets it 75,000. Now Guillaume Darcourt with the best hand with the 6s, plus he picked up a higher straight draw.
It's getting a little more treacherous for Darcourt, but if he thought his pocket 6s were good on the flop, that deuce on the turn changes nothing.
And he does make the call, Norman.
And Tuvey's thinking, good, that means I can continuation bet my continuation bet from my continuation bet.
The river card with 300,000 in the pot, another 4. You see the percentages. The pocket 6s and 4s for Darcourt are best.
Maybe Tuvey's having second thoughts. Maybe he wants to play into day 5.
Well, the open raised. He let out on the flop and the turn.
All in.
He now builds an even stronger story with an all-in.
Yep. Why not bluff off the rest of your chips with about 40 big blinds left? But it is pause for a lot of concern for Guillaume Darcourt. The river all-in bluff. Let's call it the Stuart Tuvey.
Darcourt sitting with pocket 6s.
Again, if Darcourt thought the 6s were good on the flop and the turn, wouldn't they still be good unless Tuvey has a 4 in his hand? But now it's a high price to find out.
About 30% of Darcourt's remaining stack to call, but he does fold. Tuvey's bluff works.
My compliments to the 22-year-old. He's 22 years ahead of me in poker chops.
Right now, 2-time bracelet winner Greg Mueller is standing by for some pro analysis on Tuvey's bluff.
Here's a hand where Darcourt shows us that the middle pairs are very, very tough in tournaments. 2 6s are a very, very difficult hand to play if you don't flop a set. The always aggressive Tuvey barrels through from start to finish with no pair, and Darcourt calls and finally gives up on the end. He had the best hand from start to finish. What do you do with him if you don't flop a set? Go set mining, and if you miss, throw the hand away.
Darkcore missed his set on the flop, and he invested over 100,000 more before finally folding the best hand. You see on the graphic right there, the only 2010 November 9 remaining. Joseph Chung is nearing 1 million chips. Let's catch up with Ben Lamb. Surprise, he is leading his opponent after the flop. Top pair for Ben, middle pair for Thomas Olcroft, who checked. Now Lamb reaching for chips. He loves to reach for chips. Lamb bets 30,000.
So tough when you're an amateur against pros like Ben Lamb. Olcroft, a 60-year-old bill collector.
And he makes the call with his pair of eights. Ben Lamb got him right where he wants him. Queen of Hearts, third heart on board. You see no red cards were dealt to either player. Olcroft checked again. And Lamb this time bets 85,000.
Lamb willing to find out if Olcroft hit a flush. A lot of players would check in position for pot control. And of course, Olcroft has to worry about a lot of hands that are better than his eights.
Olcroft folds. No flush for Lamb. A pair of kings, though, will do the trick. He takes another pot. After a tough day 3, Lamb seems to have fixed the hitch in his giddy-up here on day 4 as he crosses over the million chip mark. Back inside the Amazon room where the dwindling field means more elbow room for everyone. Sam Barnhart's day 3 included a very big fold. Kara Scott has a report on how that hand went down.
Sam Barnhart is a World Series of Poker circuit champion, but this is his first cash in the World Series of Poker main event, and it nearly didn't happen. On day 3, he was involved in a big hand where he laid down pocket kings before the flop for all of his chips. I asked him how he's able to make such a big fold, and he said it took him a long time to analyze the actions. He even told his table they could call the clock on him, but in the end, his long deliberations paid off. He said the only hand his opponent could have there was aces, and he was right, and Sam lived to fight another day.
Sam says he just tries to swim with the fish and the sharks at the poker table. He seems more shark than fish.
Boy, if Sam had called and lost with those pocket kings, that could have been disastrous. As it is, he's got nearly 2 million chips. Pocket nines for Barnhart under the gun.
A raise.
And a raise to 18,000.
Sam says he respects great players who aren't showmen. He cites Alan Cunningham, Eric Seidel, and Barry Johnston.
Boy, if you can just follow the example of those players, you will do very well here at the main event in your entire poker career. Sam taking a year off from his research work to give poker a go.
I still like to see some personality at the table. Just makes it more fun to play or watch.
Fold it around to the big blind. Guillaume Darcourt. Raise from Barnhart to 18,000 has gotten through this far, but Darcourt will call with his 6-4.
What's the point of playing 6-4 off with nothing in the pot?
Here is the flop. It is Trey 7-5 rainbow. Really? Guillaume Darcourt flops the joint, and he checks it. Barnhart bets 30,000 with his pocket nines.
Sure, that's a very safe-looking flop for Sam Barnhart.
And now Darcourt with his 7 high straight.
6-4 off. Please.
And the biggest stack working with him. And there is a raise to 74,000 from Darcourt.
Well, he had hooked Sam with the check. I might have thought Darcourt would reel him in a little longer before yanking that fishing pole.
Now back to Sam Barnhart.
Sam, of course, always slow to act. He's like a Sunday driver at the poker table.
And here's a re-raise from Sam to 230,000.
Sam 3-bets it, and my man has hit a pothole.
The 2 top stacks at this table in a battle of wills.
And as we've seen before, the man in the pink hair is an actor in training at the table. Barnhart sitting on a 4% hand. Darcourt's sitting on the nuts. He's acting like, you know, he's sitting on trouble.
What an opportunity for Darcourt.
I raise.
And Darcourt has announced a re-raise. Those are the calling chips. How much heat can Barnhart's nines take?
Well, the 4-bet might make the Sunday driver slam on the brakes.
A raise to 445 from Darcourt. Now Barnhart with the pocket nines.
Barnhart has Darcourt easily covered, but I don't know if he wants to ultimately risk half his stack with pocket nines.
Sorry, guys.
As we saw with the pocket king, Sam usually makes the right decision.
I'm gonna have an heart attack if you go on like that. That means a fold. Yes.
Sam says he's going to fold. He hasn't yet. But there it is, and Darkour will take the pot.
I came close calling you. Probably will next time. No, I had aces. I'd call you in a second. You have a hand? You did? You had nines beat? Mm-hmm. You had nines beat?
He had nines beat. He had aces beat. He had everything beat.
You won't believe me if I told you.
You didn't have nines beat? Bluff, huh? Good bluff, huh? Set? You didn't hit a set, did you? Set of threes.
That's right.
You had a set of threes? Set
No,
of
he
threes?
said, no. You think I'd throw away a set of threes?
You
I
had
don't
two
know.
aces there?
No, I had 2 nines.
What's wrong?
2 nines.
2 9?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Thought about this so long.
Huh?
Darkour up to $1,150,000. At an outer table, an amateur making noise with his big stack. Manoj Viswanathan with $1.4 million flopped a pair of sevens and a gut shot. He leads the pair of fives of Patrick Shepard.
This is Brooklyn, New York versus Eagle River, Alaska. The mainland is ahead on this one.
Viswanathan bet $32,000. And now Shepard doesn't look like he's going anywhere. And there's a raise to $74,000.
Shepard, also an amateur. Viswanathan went to MIT, then went to NYU Law School.
And he makes the call for $42,000 more. Gets a glare from his opponent. Turn card ace of diamonds, and Shepard takes the lead with aces up. Viswanathan is double gutted, and he's going to bet it. Shepard moves all in.
Boy, an immediate all-in. You act that quickly, you usually have a monster. Viswanathan covering his mouth, otherwise he'd blurt out, oh my goodness, what have I done? I'm a stinking lawyer, not a poker pro. What have I done?
Viswanathan started the hand with $1 million more than Shepard. Needs $248 more to call.
Well, what he wants to do right now, I imagine, is fold.
But he calls. And Shepard shows him aces up.
A 1 million chip pot, Shepard at risk.
Big card, big card, big
One card to come. The river card, the 6, and Viswanathan rivers a 7 high straight to knock Shepard out.
Bad call, good result.
There is your new tournament chip leader.
Thanks, Brian. Sorry, man.
A stunned Patrick Shepard earns over $27,000.
Down for chips.
It's a $2.9 million, 6 3/4 million, over $14 million, almost $23 million.
Come on. We called.
There you go!
It looks like a brutal finish to a beautiful main event for Joseph Chung.
Chung's infamous crippling hand from last year's main event final table.
So only the last 10 will come now, no?
There is Anton Ionel all in for $89,000 with 2 10s against the ace-queen of Chung. The flop is no help to Chung. Ionel still ahead.
Ionel, a 43-year-old Romanian engineer looking for a small double-up through last year's third-place finisher.
Turn card, 4 of clubs. That misses Chung.
Give me a 2, a deuce, or a jack.
Only an ace or a queen knocks him out.
The river card is an ace, and Chung's 6-outer comes home, sending Anton Ionel to the payout cage.
I scoffed at Joseph Chung's chances to make back-to-back final tables, but he is still here.
He has more than doubled his stack, approaching $1 million right now. Average stack over 483,000 at the moment, with 426 players remaining. We check in on Ben Lamb, who has taken up another occupation.
Those things are heavy. Good luck, son.
Can I see your union card?
Okay, smile.
Lamb is good enough to shoot and raise at the same time.
Well, Ben Lamb showing what poker was like before they had hole cameras. Every player had to carry around one of those cameras and show us his cards. Ben has 10-5 off.
I like the Lamb cam.
Like I said before, is anybody not having fun here?
I don't think I'll get any respect if I raise here. It's like too much fun to play with Pablo in the camera.
And folds his button.
No, that's bad TV. Come on.
And realizes he has the better job not lugging that 40-pound beast around the room. At another table, Michael Bena's ace-10 came up short on the flop against the pocket tens of Russian Andrei Patachuk. Action on Bena.
Bena, 29, from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. This is his 4th cash this World Series.
Bena bet 17,000.
Patachuk, just 21 years old, still a student from just outside of Moscow.
With the pocket tens, makes the call. Turn card, Jack of Hearts. Bena adds the nut flush draw and a Broadway draw.
Big card for Bena. He's gone from having squad douche to having squad douche with cufflinks.
And Bena bets 31,000.
Patachuk has picked up his own flush draw, which of course would be no good.
He's a 2-1 favorite right now with the pocket tens. And he makes the call.
He's being sticky, and he's correct.
Almost 150,000 in the pot. River card, another king. Bena comes up empty. But he's got chips, and it looks like he's going to bet at it.
Yeah, he's going to represent a big hand again.
Bena putting together some orange chips and a couple of yellow chips. That's 57,000.
It's a bluff disguised as a value bet. It's like Pauly Shore disguised as a comedian. It might not work.
Patachuk with kings up.
Patachuk would be getting about 4-1 on his money to call here.
And he does call.
Ace high won't do it. Good call from Andrei Patachuk.
So the Russian will take that pot. Bena's bluff not believable enough. And Andrei can breathe again. Patachuk up to about 850,000 now at that outer table. A very healthy stack indeed. Nearby, Daniel Negreanu holds pocket kings and has the action. Daniel Scalovi just open raised to 16,000 with ace-10 of diamonds.
Scalovi, a 27-year-old Canadian, writes online poker strategy columns.
This Canadian has taken some recent hits to his stack. He's all in for 118,000.
Got like 100. That's 100.
Doesn't have much.
Daniel has pocket kings.
I got 118, bro. That's the 100, and that's the 18. And that's the Canadian bro from Vancouver. A lot of riots out there this year.
If I lose his hand, I'm going to flip the table.
Referring to the unfortunate Stanley Cup hockey riots.
That's not funny.
Yeah, no.
A couple of friendly Canadians talking it out here, but the bottom line is that Daniel Negreanu has all his chips in the middle.
We'll talk about it after.
Oh, sorry, do your thing.
Disagree with that.
I mean, dude. And now it's another $102 for you.
American Canadian.
102.
Scalovi has Daniel well covered.
Close.
I think Scalovi's got a call here.
There's 44 in the pot. 44 and 102 is 146. You got to call 102 to win 146.
Daniel helping him out.
It's like you're getting about 1.4, so I mean you have to have something decent. I can't tell you that because I'll get a penalty. I have pretty cards. Mine are pretty.
I'm not fond of Daniel's talk here. If he's the one to act, fine. But it's Scalovi's action. If I'm making this decision, I don't need Daniel reviewing the size of the pot and the odds for me. It's a bit off-putting.
And Daniel, for the record, that was Norman talking. Scalovi with the ace-10 of diamonds.
You think or you do?
And he folds.
Probably a good fold if you couldn't beat kings.
No, well, I knew you had a call. So I got it for fun.
Oh, because you had an ace? Then I don't want you to call. Here, there's the kings I just had. You had ace 10. So I got 146. Eat some of that. All right.
Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Daniel Negreanu involved in another hand at an outer table, this time with Benjamin Logan.
Logan 26th, 87th at the 2007 main event.
Both have two pair 8s and 5s. Negreanu with a better kicker and a flush draw. He just bet 37,000 after Logan checked.
Negreanu trying to regain some momentum.
You notice the percentages do not add up to 100 because there's still a reasonable chance of a chop pot. Logan makes the call. Logan was a semi-pro basketball player. He says he's a semi-pro poker player. He needs to commit sometimes, you know? All right, the river card. 6 of hearts. Negreanu rivers the flush. Logan wisely checks his 2 pair.
Negreanu wondering if he can get more chips out of Logan here.
Daniel 11th place in the 2001 main event.
Yep, it's a flush, Daniel.
48,000.
How much?
48,000.
I called.
Logan calls.
Nice value bet from Daniel.
And Daniel has the best of it.
Daniel Negreanu keeps dipping and then keeps rising.
Logan pays him off. Daniel now with about 350,000 chips.
I have more chips now than I've ever had. For real.
Main event has been a grind for Negreanu, but he seems to be getting some traction at that outer table. All right, let's get back over to our secondary table. The leader here is Sam Barnhart with 1.7 million. Action on Patrick Poirier on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Whole Cam. King, Queen of Spades.
Poirier says he likes to snowboard, but I believe he's bluffing.
Raised to 18,000. Poirier started this day four with 1.3 million, down to about 400,000 right now. Action pulls over to Stuart Tuvey.
I think Tuvey snowboards.
He looks like a snowboarder. He folds his Jack 5. Folded around to Sam Barnhart on the button. Ace 10 of spades.
Barnhart says he likes browsing through programming books at Barnes & Noble. He's a cheap date.
He makes the call for 18,000. The small blind Kareem lays down, as does Cam Barris. So it will be heads up. Sam Barnhart with the ace 10 of spades. Poirier with king queen of spades. And here is the flop. Queen, 8, king. Top two pair for Poirier. Barnhart with a Broadway draw.
Poirier in his familiar left arm rests while the right arm works pose.
And he puts together 37,000. Now to Barnhart.
Barnhart, always deliberate. I like Sam, but none of us is going to live forever.
Barnhart with a big stack. Can afford to see a lot of turn cards. He does make the call.
Barnhart's seen Poirier posture previously. Might think his ace high is good.
Turn card. Ace of diamonds pairs Barnhart. Poirier still way ahead with kings up.
You know, it occurs to me that my Tupper Lake guy could wager a little more efficiently and quickly if he actually used both arms.
You got somewhere to go?
Well, I've got no place else to be right now, Lon, but, you know, I like a good pace to my day.
52,000 from Patrick. Barnhart with top pair, but second best makes the call.
Well, Patrick stringing Sam along with that small turn bet.
235 in the pot right now. All right, the river card, and oh, the 10, and Sam Rivers a better two pair.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
And Poirier checks his two pair.
It's the French style.
First time he's slowed down. 80,000 from Barnhart, about a third of the pot.
This is a snapshot of how these two players' days are going. Poirier looks so frustrated. He can't beat a flush. He can't beat a straight. And, of course, he can't beat Barnhart's aces up.
Everything gets there.
Exactly what Patrick's thinking. And he does wisely lay it down.
Barnhart has some more chips to stack, courtesy of Patrick Poirier.
As ships in the night, these two sailing in opposite directions. One with a big diesel engine, the other just steaming away. The biggest limit hold'em event of the summer was the $10,000 championship. And after all was said and done, Daniel Idema came out on top.
A great amount of people have bracelets in the poker world, and it's just a tremendous honor to be part of that world.
It was a sweet victory for Idema, who finished runner-up in the same tournament just last year.
Redemption, bro, redemption.
The last player to win back-to-back bracelets in the same World Series event was Thang Lu, who won the $1,500 Omaha 8 or Better event in 2008 and 09. Chip leader Manoj Viswanathan is in action again. He flopped an open-ender against Michael Benna's top pair and higher gut shot, and Aaron Rupert's leading pocket queens with his own two-way straight draw. Check to Rupert, and he bet 28,000. Now to the tournament chip leader. He makes the call.
I like the hat. I don't like the call.
Benna makes the call as well. Pot, 151,000. Turn card. 6 of spades, misses all 3. Manoj, the big stack with a big bet, 100,000.
Viswanathan fires out. He's got a lot of pep in his step. Benna looks like he wants to call. He does have Rupert behind him.
Benna stuck in the middle. He folds. Now to Rupert.
This is Rupert's 4th career World Series cash.
He's got the best hand, and he makes the call. Viswanathan seems unworried. River card now. Another 10. Viswanathan left with just ace high. Oh, and the big stack.
Yeah, and we're seeing a bad trend here, Lon. Another aggressive guy who uses just one arm to make a bet.
Viswanathan bets 300,000.
Well, now I like the hat and I like the bluff. This would be for 2/3 of Rupert's remaining stack. It might work.
Rupert shaking his head. Well, look at that board. Very dangerous. And Rupert lays down his hand. Viswanathan takes another pot.
Show a bluff on your first hand at the table. You don't want to show the bluff.
He doesn't want to show the bluff, but he whistled like he was bluffing.
You're going to tell us how you dirtied the other guy now?
Manoj just moved to this table, but word of his earlier exploits have spread throughout the Amazon room.
And it's another staple of this tournament, Lon. An amateur seizing the chip lead late in the main event.
And as we pass by our secondary table, amateur Sam Barnhart, one of the chip leaders with almost 2 million. But let's get back to our featured table. Action on David Bach, nicknamed Gunslinger. He will not play. Folded to Tom Braband. Well, he has the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand, Norman.
I'm glad these wild card hands aren't essay questions. Multiple choice is so much easier.
You have 4 choices, and he raises to 17,000.
Well, with that raise from under the gun +2, we can eliminate D, 8-6 off. Braband's getting low stacked. I don't think he can afford to fool around, and I don't think he's the type to fool around. So I'm going to put him on the small pocket pair, A, pocket 3s.
Pocket 3s, the choice for Norman Chad.
See, Lana, I understand position in poker. I understand hand range. I understand the whole panoply that is this great game.
Panoply, that's the one thing I did not understand in what you just said. Folded around to the big blind, Dwayne Alexander.
The 31-year-old poker pro from San Antonio.
King Jack suited. Braband raised to 17,000. Alexander sits with over 1 million chips right now, and he makes that call.
The man in the green shirt has pocket 3s, Lon.
So you say. Here's the flop, and there is a 3 along with a 7 and 6. Alexander whiffed, and he checked.
I think he's got a set of 3s now. He's certainly not going to make a continuation bet here with, say, ace-king.
He does bet 20,000. Alexander puts in 20,000.
I would explain Alexander's flop call, Lon, but I can't. But the man in green has a set of 3s, Lon.
Turn card is a jack, so Alexander with top pair and a good kicker. And he checks again.
Okay, we eliminated D pre-flop. We eliminated C on the flop. And if he's going to fire here again, I don't think Braband is just on a draw, which is B. It's a big hand. It's a set.
You think he's got a set? Is that what you're saying?
Uh-huh.
47,000. Okay, with the set.
Okay, now, Alexander should have been gone on the flop, and I believe pairing his jack is going to get him in trouble.
Yeah, he does make the call for 47,000.
The man in green has a set of 3s, Lon.
River card is an ace. Alexander checks a 3rd time.
Braband has 25 big blinds remaining. No way he's going to posture at this point with Alexander calling him on the flop and on the turn. If he bets here, he's got it. And you know what he's got?
All in.
A set of 3s. It is an all-in bet from Braband. Almost 200,000.
Alexander's curious flop call leads him to this tough position. He's either crushed or Braband is bluffing.
It would take about 20% of his stack to make this call for Alexander. And there it is. And a set of 3s for Braband. Norman Chad, I bow to you.
The man in green had pocket 3s, Lon. Get me a case of beef jerky.
He won the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand. And so did you, Norman.
If you touch me right now, you will burn yourself.
Braband was in desperate need of chips here at this featured table. He had pocket trays, wound up spiking a set on the flop, and then got maximum value from Dwayne Alexander. Action wrapping up here on day 4 at the main event as we check in on the secondary table. Sam Barnhart with $1.9 million. He's got very little to worry about right now. His stack, the second biggest in the room. Patrick Poirier, who once sat on $1.3 million, is now $1 million lighter. Action on Guillaume Darcourt, 9-7 off. Second biggest stack at this table, and he's going to raise it up with that hand to 18,000.
Look at these two guys, Lon. Couldn't they star in some buddy comedy on TV? You know, like The Odd Couple?
Yeah, the pink-haired Frenchman and the Arkansan.
That's gold, Lon, gold.
Queen 9 of spades for Barnhart, and he makes the call.
In fact, you could pick any two guys on this table, and you have a remake of The Odd Couple.
Poirier with pocket jacks. Well, we say goodnight to Patrick Poirier. He had a good tournament, and I hope he's enjoyed the main event.
Well, they're tough to play, but I want him to pump it up. Be the man I know you can be from Tupper Lake.
Well, he has been very aggressive with his stack throughout the main event. That's how he built it, and partly how he lost it.
Would it kill the left arm to actively participate in the day's proceedings?
There is a re-raise to 48,000 from Poirier.
That's a smallish 3-bet.
What a range of chip stacks at the secondary table, from a low of 87,000 up to 1.9 million. 10-5 for Duke Pham, and he lays it down.
Rags.
Stuart Tuvey, the Sunnyvale apparent snowboarder. 9-6 of clubs.
Semi-connected and suited rags.
Into the muck.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
What is it?
30,000, I think.
Yes.
That is the raise back to Darcourt. Now he's looking for a miracle flop or a bluffing board, and he makes the call.
I don't see how Darcourt just called. I just don't. 9-7 off. Does he think he's going to flop another straight?
Sam calls as well with Queen 9, so Poirier's re-raise builds a 3-way pot.
Pick any two from this table, you got an odd couple.
Here's the flop. King, Deuce, 8 rainbow, not the flop Darcourt or Barnhart wanted. Poirier best with his jacks. Check to him.
That flop is just too ugly for TV.
And the jacks want to commit more chips.
And eventually, Lon, if you're handling that many chips with just your right arm, it will grow in size grotesquely larger than your left arm. You're going to be a sideshow at the circus.
Patrick bets 45,000.
Another small bet.
Darcourt folds, and Barnhart kicks it in, and the pocket jacks come through. Mark it.
Wow, pocket jacks win, Lon?
They do. Put it on a Post-it note. So somehow Patrick Poirier makes those cards work, and he picks up a few chips. He needs to do that more often. At another outer table, Daniel Negreanu just 3-bet with pocket queens. Original raiser Freddie Deeb with ace-6 suited. Next to act. He lays it down now with pocket kings. Morten Mortensen.
Is that the way you're supposed to wear that shirt?
How much of the green? 57. 25,000 each.
Mortensen raises all in.
Mortensen has Negreanu right where he wants him. And Daniel without much choice here.
Daniel has Mortensen covered.
Daniel's going to have to call.
And that's what he does. And Daniel in very bad shape. His queens against Mortensen's kings.
The 22-year-old Dane looking to double through Daniel Negreanu.
All right, now the flop.
Oh.
And there's a queen in the flop, and Daniel flops a set.
And now Negreanu has Mortensen right where he wants him.
Mortensen packing up to leave. Turn card is an ace. No help to Mortensen.
We all go all in on the flop.
Yeah.
With that flop.
The river card, another trade. Daniel wins the hand with a full boat and knocks out Mortensen.
Another bad fortune, ugly ending.
If you call it, Daniel, if you call it and check the flop, I bet he raise, you raise, we all go all in.
I'm okay with how it works out.
So Daniel Negreanu wins day 4 on a high note as the remaining field starts to bag up their chips as they look forward to day 5 of the main event.
On day 4, we saw what we've seen so many times, Lon. Get it in with the worst of it and get lucky. That's how Manoj Viswanathan took the chip lead. That's how Daniel Negreanu has stuck around. But at the main event, that's always how you survive to the very end.
So day 4 ends with 378 players. The top 2 are amateurs. We caught up with the chip leader, Manoj Viswanathan, after play finished for the day.
I feel good. I've got the momentum.
You never know with these things how it's going to end up, and it'd be very premature for me to say that I'm going to get anywhere close to the final table, but of course that's what you dream of, and that's all I can hope for.
Feels like I'm due to get lucky. It's been a rough World Series, but if I can hold all my run good and all my luck for this event, it'll all be worth it.
Whether you have pink hair,
Vietnam's beat.
You won't believe me if I told you.
11 letters in your last name, or you're the biggest poker star on the planet, there's a place for you on day 5.
So I got 146. Eat some of that. All right.
Patrick Poirier showed us how hard it is to maintain the chip lead, while Sam Barnhart kept trending up. For Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. On to day 5.